Corona Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
Well, how about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 256 of How About That Cigar Live. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us live on any of the places that you watch How About That Cigar. It could be Rumble.
Rumble, baby, rumble.
It could be Facebook. It could be YouTube. It could be X. It could be Instagram. Anywhere that you are watching. Guys, thank you so much for being with us. And, of course, if you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, guys, thank you so much for making How About That Cigar a part of your regular audio podcast rotation.
And just another friendly reminder is we cannot respond to you on Instagram. So please go somewhere we can respond.
Excellent point. Yeah, if you're watching live, you can definitely watch live, but we aren't able to see your comments. So if you want to join in the conversation, get over to Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, or X, and we will enjoy those as we go along. Guys, so, it's been a temperature roller coaster. I'd say.
I was like I was going through what do they call that when the women change their hot flashes and cold flashes?
Yeah.
What is that called? Menopause.
Menopause. Yeah.
Because the temperature, you go outside, it was cool, and you go out 2 hours later and it's hot.
Yeah, I went camping over the weekend with my son, and it was cold. I mean, it was actually downright cold. I think the overnight temps got down to 55 or something like that.
So beautiful.
And I mean, nothing compared to 20 below like it's going to be in January here, but and now today it was 80, something like that.
Yeah, it was sweaty.
So all right, Minnesota Twins. Fortunately, so we had a very crucial time coming up that we're sort of in the middle of. So the Twins were just behind Cleveland in the standings, and then we had a 4-game series against Cleveland. Fortunately, the Twins took 2. We split the series, so we took 2 of those 4 games, which was better than I was hoping for. Yeah. I was hopeful to just win 1, but we split it, so that's good. And as of right now, we're beating Kansas City, who's just a couple games behind us.
Unfortunately for the Twins, their schedule's about to get a little harder.
Yeah, pretty much. It's probably going to be a wild card spot.
Yeah, for
the Twins.
And I hope for all my Minnesota brethren that you don't get to play my Yankees in the playoffs.
And it's probably going to be the Yankees.
The Yankees are tied for the best record in baseball right now, 70 and whatever.
70 wins, tied with Baltimore. So also real quick, preseason football, first game of the preseason. Packers looked okay.
Vikings looked okay.
What about
Jets? I didn't watch. I couldn't take it.
Couldn't bring yourself.
No.
Yeah,
but I do have my.
Yeah, you got your Jets colors on.
I got my Jets colors on today.
Yeah,
and I even got my Jets.
Your Jets color liquid death.
Minus
the death that's meaningful for the Jets.
Well, I hope
that they've already missed the playoffs.
I hope Rodgers drinks some liquid death that has mushrooms in it, because then he'll play better.
He might play better.
I hope he goes in a little cave before the game, eats some mushrooms, and comes out and lights everybody up.
He'll definitely see visions. You hope that he sees visions of
grandeur,
throwing Super Bowl or throwing touchdowns,
and not the injury bug. He is fragile. He's like old, ain't he? Like,
sorry, I'm on my phone here, just sharing it again on Facebook.
Yes.
And a reminder about Cigars and Baseball that is coming up on September 12th at CHS Field in St. Paul, Minnesota. Cigars and Baseball is a fantastic event. One of the best cigar events in the country, in my personal opinion. Yes. You are will be there live at CHS Field on September 12th. That's a Thursday. And CHS Field is where the St. Paul Saints play baseball. Beautiful, beautiful minor league baseball park. And it truly is a ballpark. It's got that old school feel to it. Cigars and Baseball is set up on the concourse that wraps around the field. There will be live baseball happening on the field while the event is going on. You're going to have cigars from some of the best manufacturers in the world, great local food, great local distilleries, local breweries, and some of the best cigar smokers in and around the state of Minnesota are going to be at that event. Yeah. So, and of course, the best part about it is every single penny of proceeds goes to benefit the Miracle League, which puts together baseball facilities for kids with disabilities. So go to cigarsbaseball.com, cigarsbaseball.com, and you can still register for tickets.
Also, if I can give a shout out to a couple local lounges. First of all, you have Minnesota Nice Fest on Saturday at Ramsey Smoke Shop. In a couple of weeks, you have at Bern, you have Espinosa and
Guy Fieri
showing up there. And then at Perfect Ash, you have another charity event, golf tournament. Call if you need to get a foursome in there.
Absolutely. So yeah, a lot of good stuff going on for our fellow Minnesotan cigar smokers. So be on the lookout for all that on your favorite Facebook cigar groups. Speaking of Facebook cigar groups, take just a minute, share us out with everybody. Yeah. Let them know we're live so they can join in the conversation as well. Because if you guys like stuff, we all like stuff. I think free stuff. I think we're going to see some stuff that maybe Santa is going to come early in August this year. So be active in the comments, guys.
Share out to your friends. Tell them if they want free stuff.
Help us help you. Help us help you. All right. Let's get to the spirit of mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. Postania Cigars. Do you find yourself unsatisfied with the top 10 list from How About That Cigar? Are you wondering how cigars from Postania didn't make the HBTC list but found their way onto other lists? Well, fortunately, you can be reminded every week with this Postania Cigars advertisement. Postania Cigars, the #1 unranked cigar in the industry. All right.
So you are drinking another Montana exclusive
whiskey. All right. Let me give it a little nose.
I think this is going to be better than the last one.
This one smells weird. Just right off the bat. Something's weird.
It
smells like tires.
They do things differently in Montana.
It smells like tires.
Well, take a little sip.
That's not a good sign of things to come, but we'll see. Here's a little taste.
Let me see this. It smells strong.
It tastes a little strong, but yeah, it's definitely not bourbon.
It's a whiskey.
Yeah,
It smells like it'll melt.
It seems
the paint off my car.
It seems like there's some kind of off the wall grain in this whiskey, like that isn't usually in a mash bill for whiskey. I can't really tell, but it's weird.
It is a Montana straight bourbon whiskey. It's called Wild Rye. So yes, it must be a rye.
Yeah, it's there, but even that, there's something different going on there. But we'll
a local distillery in Bozeman.
I'll keep sipping on that throughout the show, and we'll get a little reveal of that later. But ladies and gentlemen, let's get our special guests onto the show. What's that? Oh God!
Oh snap!
So sorry.
Hey Justin, you want to join us tonight?
Hi guys, I am here.
You just need to butt in earlier. Next
I know.
Time,
I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
What's going down?
Holy crap!
I was wondering why you're making those faces to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez, Justin.
Oh wow.
I was wondering why you're making those faces at me. I'm like,
I know.
Does he want to give me a kiss?
Everybody, please, join us in apologizing to Justin for. Yeah, next time you just need to butt in and
I'm just gonna come on
when we're in the middle of sports talk. Just butt in.
So you're about to say though.
I'm so sorry, man.
You're about to say.
I was about to say that we're going to get our special guests on the show. And as always, special guests on How About That Cigar are brought to us by our friends at Drew Estate. Following the resounding success of Blackened Cigars M81 Maduro, Drew Estate announced the new Blackened S84 Shade to Black. Wrapped in a luxurious Connecticut Ecuador cover leaf, the experience of this expression is distinctly different from the original M81 Maduro, while still retaining its foundational qualities due to the Connecticut broadleaf Maduro binder and filler leaves from Pennsylvania and Nicaragua. Presented in elegantly designed 20-count boxes, Blackened S84 Shade to Black by Drew Estate is available in Robusto, Toro, Corona Doble, and Corona. For more information on these cigars, please visit drewestate.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please, without further ado, put your hands together and welcome to episode 256 of How About That Cigar Live from Quality Importers, Mike Giordano and Michael Giannini. Brothers, both of you, welcome back to the show.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How you
Good
guys
to see
doing
you
tonight?
again. Thanks for having us.
Such a pleasure having you guys back on again.
Mike, are you in your back patio?
I'm on my back patio. I was, I'm looking at Giannini and it just sit up a little. We just
see his head.
I want to see this outfit he's got on here. He's got the leopard print or something going down.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. That's the Michael Giannino I know.
Michael Giannini always has
always blinging.
He always brings it with the wardrobe. I love it.
Yeah. I think Graf Jewelers called today looking for some silver, Mike.
Well, they're going to have to pay for it. They're going to have to pay for it.
Let's go around and talk about what everybody is smoking this evening. So, Mike Giordano, let's start with you. What do you have fired up with us?
I'm finishing off a Padron 64 Exclusivo, and then I'm going to smoke. This Hemingway.
Very nice.
Save that for a moment.
Very nice, Mr. Giannini. What are you smoking with us this evening?
So that's what I have.
Nice.
So I have both Michael and I are in Florida. There's a conspiracy cigar. We're going to be talking about this, but I have a thing, like I can sit in my back, but the air conditioner runs really loud, so you wouldn't be able to hear me, and there's not a lot of lighting. I could sit in my garage, but it'll be really, really hot. So I figured, you know what? After this, I'm going to go smoke. So just easier because it's really warm out, and I don't want to smoke in the house. So
I don't blame you a bit, brother. I don't blame you at all. Raul, what do you got?
I'm smoking a conspiracy.
Yeah, we got these from you guys.
But mine is not as pretty as yours, Mr. Gene.
Oh, nice. Those are the pre-release. That's special you got there.
Yeah, we got these from Michael at the PCA trade show.
And I think this is a Maduro. I'm not sure of the blend.
We'll learn about all that very, very soon. Actually.
I hope so. It's tasty. What about you, Justin?
I also have one of the conspiracy cigars. Which one is this? Is it the Habano or?
It's Ecuadorian Connecticut.
Connecticut. There we go.
Yes.
And Matt, why don't you toast it up and find out what you're smoking?
I'm gonna fire up the exact same cigar that Justin's got fired up, and I'm gonna do that right now on the Cigar Toast Cam. Cigar is the leading cigar accessory brand with innovative butane lighters, precision cigar cutting instruments, travel cases, and humidors. Each product is designed and manufactured with the utmost precision and attention to detail. The result is a range of products that exude quality and refinement, reflecting the brand's dedication to excellence. For more information, please visit Cigar.com. There we go.
Nice job. Nice job, Matt.
Hey, thanks.
This cigar is pretty good.
I think that's a brand you guys have heard of before.
We have.
Oh, yeah.
You know a thing or two about Cigar, definitely. But before we jump into talking about the wonderful world of cigar accessories, you guys really did get a lot of buzz at the PCA trade show this year, and that buzz has continued even to now that the cigars are on their way to retailers. So let's talk about this Conspiracy Cigars project. everything from the blends to the production and everything else in between. So let's start with the blends that we're enjoying right now, and what our consumer friends out there in the world of premium cigars can expect to find from these lovely smoking experiences.
Well, so we can kick this off properly, I would like to have Michael talk about his experience in the cigar business and how we ended up with Conspiracy this time. Because sitting with him, he actually told me some great stories of how he's been in the industry. So on the cigar side.
Absolutely.
Cool?
Yeah, for sure. So like Michael said before, we started up in February of 2000 with one humidor model, and we got into the business just after the boom in the cigar industry busted. And they say that when you don't know any better, you can make a lot of strides, because we didn't know any better. We were just, I was looking to start a business and venture into entrepreneurialism. And girlfriend at the time, I was living in New York. Girlfriend at the time said to me, Mike, there's a cigar boom going on. Maybe you can bring in some accessories. You know how to import products. You know how to get things made. So we brought in some accessories, no humidors though. And one thing led to another. I ended up selling out what I brought in to an online retailer. He asked me if I had some humidors, and I said, no, but I can get them. And we went into business. We then moved down to, we each separately moved down to Florida, where we are now. And we did the business for a number of years. And I said to myself, there's two things that we need in order to be able to have staying power. And one was to have brands. So over the years, we acquired different brands, built up what we have today. But even with acquiring brands, we would always be the secondary facet of the industry next to cigars. So I always said to myself, if we can somehow successfully provide cigars to the trade, then we'll have a complete vertical. Conspiracy is a name that I think just rings very loudly, especially in today's day and age. And I trademarked the name some years ago, and it actually started with a pipe tobacco. Pipes and Cigars was offering the cult pipe tobacco tins, and they started to take off in that arena. And since we had the trademark under the same class for cigars of being tobacco, when Alex Goldman and Mike Giannini joined us, I said, we have to be able to carry this out with what you guys have done in the cigar side of the business. So we chose to do something a little bit different. You know, we've made swag for so many different manufacturers over the years. And I said, there's nothing that's going to be able to really display what we do and what we can do more than if we launch a cigar and we launch it to the trade with swag. So every retailer who carries the Conspiracy line of cigars is going to get swag with it. It can't be purchased without it. In other words, you buy the cigars and you're going to get some type of swag. Depending on what you buy, depends on what you get. And we launched it at this last PCA, and we were very pleasantly surprised at the way that it was received. And just like you said earlier, it is now shipping from the distributor that we have to the trade and fulfilling those orders.
Nice.
So if I can get a side question, how'd you two meet, and how did it come about where you guys started working together? Am I jumping ahead?
No, go ahead.
All right. So, Michael, you want to take that question?
All right, so I've been in this game for 42 years. So I'll tell you how I met Michael. I've been in the game for 42 years now, and my last premium position was out in California. And Michael had just bought, Quality Importers had just bought the Cigar brand. So I was actually on a trip from California to Florida, and I was working with my sales guys on the East Coast of Florida, and we're like, hey, man, we should go pop in there. The Quality Importers is doing some swag. We should figure out what they're doing with Cigar. It might be stuff we want to use to launch a brand. And I actually met Michael in 2017, I think it was 2018, latter part of 2018. We ended up leaving there with a bunch of swag that we created, and I have it somewhere here. We did on these Cigar XO cutters, we did a really cool design on it. Problem was, all my guys were trying to take it because all the sales guys wanted it. I'm like, guys, it's not for you. It's our way to sell cigars. So when COVID hit, basically everything got locked down. The company closed up because none of my guys could travel. And actually, I reached out to Alex Goldman, who's fourth generation tobacco on the wholesale side. He's legendary on that side of the business. Known him my entire career. Reached out to him one day. He was posting that he was a premium guy. He's at Quality Importers, and I'm like, that's where Michael Giordano's from. Like, okay, like what are you doing there? And he's like, man, we're doing some really cool stuff here. They just trying to catch up turned into, hey, let's talk tonight, which was an hour. He's like, I'm going to get you in touch with Michael on a Friday. I spoke to Michael it was supposed to be an hour. It turned into 2 hours. He's like, get your butt on a plane. I flew down on a Tuesday, met with Michael all day Wednesday. What blew me away over the course of 4 years, the place had grown tremendously, even over COVID. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And that's how we really officially met. I dug Michael's story because, he's going to celebrate 25 years of Quality Importers. He's acquired all these great brands. I literally sat there and I'm like, big fan of Steve Jobs and Wozniak and how these guys built stuff out of their garage. And here I am talking to a gentleman who 15 grand, and Michael's very, very humble about it, 15 grand and one humidor in his mom's living room in New York, and actually launched a brand, like he said, like humidors when the boom was over. And here's a guy that didn't know any better and said, you know what, I believe in myself and what I'm doing. I'm going to build this. And here I am sitting there listening to this and like, I think I want to come work for a guy like this. This is really, really cool. And so that's how we met. Super impressed by him. And as we talk tonight, this is one of the cool things, one of the reasons that, I really love Quality Importers, and some other things we're going to show you of how he thinks about business, how you actually get to meet some of these guys. I mean, there's people like this in our industry, but I had never met anybody like this, or I never got a chance to really work very closely with Alex Goldman. So we started to put a little bit of a power team together, and that's how the cigar came to life. And we'll tell you more about the story there, but that's how I met him. I actually met him once, and then I met him for real second. I get to see him pretty much every day.
All right, so now that we got your backstory, let's talk about the cigar. It's a beautiful packaging on the cigar.
Yeah, let's talk about presentation.
Let's talk about what's in the cigar. And I heard somebody that we might know made it for you guys. We might know somebody that made it for you guys. So let's talk about the cigar.
So Michael, I think, was waiting for guys that really were successful on the premium side. One of my first questions to Alex Goldman was like, hey, bro, when are we going to do a cigar? And he's like, man, we got a lot more things to do before we do that. So last September, I get a call, hey, come to my office. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm in trouble for something. So I go in, he goes, hey, remember what we talked about 2 years ago? Well, Michael's green lit that we're going to do a cigar. Do you know who we're going to do it with? I'm like, absolutely. I'm going to go make the call right now. And we already knew who we were going to go to. My long-lasting relationship, friendship with Ernesto Perez Carrillo goes way back. He's one of my mentors in the industry, taught me a lot about tobacco and blending and cigars. And to this day, he's still one of my mentors. Then I made the call and I'm like, hey, man, we're doing a project. It's Michael Giordano, his wife, Marilyn, Alex Goldman, and myself. And I want you to be involved. He's like, I'm in. I'm like, you want to know what it's about? He's like, I don't care. I'm in. I love you guys. I'm doing this. Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll touch base in a week and we'll figure out the process. And that was the simple conversation. This was September of last year we started this project. So you want to know what's in it?
Yeah, I want to know what's in it. Besides
That's a
tobacco.
question. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you two things.
There's
I'm going to tell you
conspiracy
two
out there
things,
about
and I'll
women.
explain to you why we're not telling you what it is. So that's exactly, there you go. So we have two wrappers. We did this, like Michael said, we built this to sell. We built the sizes that we know sell. It's a 5x50, a 6x52, and a 6x60. Very simple. We did two wrappers. We did a Mexican San Andreas, which is the Maduro, and we did an Ecuadorian Connecticut for the natural. What's inside the tobaccos, we all know inside, but at this point, our mentality is it's a bit of a conspiracy. It's like asking, Thomas Keller from the French Laundry in California, hey man, how'd you make this dish? And how'd you make it taste like this? He's not going to really tell you. So our thing is we want you to experience the cigar, between Michael and his wife and Alex and myself and Ernesto and his son. We have over 200 years experience in the cigar industry. We've done this before. We know what we like. That's how we brought this together. So the funny thing is, when we started working on these blends, Michael was isolated, Marilyn was isolated, Alex was isolated, I was isolated, and another gentleman in our office was isolated, and we did not talk to each other. I just brought samples back. There were just simple codes on them. Like, here's the blends, guys, smoke them. Here's a tasting sheet. And we finally came to a consensus. But it was interesting to have some of Michael's perspective because he came from it from a totally different place than where I came from it. And we would have these really interesting conversations about the blend and what we needed to do with it. And it'd be neat for you to tell him some of those stories, Michael. I'll never forget, I was in a parking lot and you had told me we had a 45-minute conversation about what we were trying to achieve. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, I do. Look, there's no doubt, especially for the people who know you and who know Alex, and I don't really understand until you guys were explaining to me your hesitation. And then I realized, look, we're an accessory company first and foremost. We're an accessory to the trade. Some retailers even look at all of the products that we sell and all of the accessories that they have in their store as kind of like the necessary evil because it takes up space. Hard goods, they'll sell it. Maybe they'll sell it once. I don't know how many they'll sell over and over because they're looking at their business where cigars are bought, lit, smoked, and they disappear and then they come back again and again. So from the consumable side of a cigar, we are the number 2 support in what they're doing. And I'm looking at this like, okay, well, let's add another product. Let's add the SKU. Let's do it right. You guys know how to do it. Having you on the team, you and Alex on the team, is definitely giving me the confidence to pull this off. But until I realized from your aspect, it's like, okay, well, we're an accessory company. People in the trade are looking at an accessory company launching a cigar, and they're saying, well, they want to do a cigar too. It's like a Me Too type of thing. But if it's done right, and it has to be done right because there's one shot at this. We have one shot. And I said to Giannini, I said, look, you've been doing this for as long as you are. Michael said to me, I look at working at Quality Importers as kind of like, the highlight of what I'm doing because it's towards a very lengthy career. It's towards the back end of a lengthy career, and I want to be remembered for this. And I said, well, then we got to do it right. We got to do it right the first time. So let's make sure. And I guess I put a little pressure on him at the same time to do so. But we're very happy with the outcome. Most importantly, we're happy with the response that we've received. And I think there's even some instances where we're already starting to get reorders, although it's early on. I learned a long time ago, the first sale you make is really not the sale. The sale is the reorder. So we're starting to see that as well. Yeah.
Well, I'll say right off the bat that because you guys know how busy the trade show gets, and you can come home with a number of cigars, and finding time to smoke stuff that you got from the trade show is tricky. So this is genuinely the first time I'm smoking this cigar, and this is the Ecuadorian Connecticut that I'm smoking right now. And oh yeah, our camera's fixed. Thanks for whoever let us know that our camera focus was off. But I'll say this, that the retrohale on this cigar is insanely smooth. And the draw is pretty much perfect. So the smooth, I'm a big retrohale guy. And if a retrohale is painful, then, that can be a little bit of a dicey experience, but this is just buttery smooth when the smoke comes out of the nose. So I enjoy that a lot.
The way it should be.
Scroll up a little bit, would you, Justin? Kelly's got a question. Up a little more.
Oh, here, I got to scroll on my screen.
Okay. Kelly's.
So
that's a great question.
Yeah, Kelly says, what was the most difficult but successful cigar you guys came up with?
Well, this is the second time that we've launched a cigar. The Conspiracy, it's too early to tell, just in time-wise, how successful it may become. So I couldn't really answer that part of the question. But as far as difficulty, I'd say Conspiracy was the most difficult because we were trying to do what normally would take probably at least twice the amount of time that we took, and doing it in half the amount of time. I believe Ernesto actually said, how did you get your cigars launched when you did at the show? Because we're making your cigars. We're also making our cigars for the show. And you got your cigars ready before we got our cigars ready.
Was he a little jealous?
when it comes to like the boxes and the bands and all of that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So I think we pulled the hat trick out with that one. And that right there is no easy feat. There was a lot of hands in the process. And our team succeeded in delivering that when it needed to be delivered. So that right there is notable.
Yeah.
So if I'm hearing correctly, this is the second releasing of it.
Well, it's the second releasing of a cigar. Some years ago, back in 2011, 2012, when we launched the Cult line of cigars, we were also doing the pipe tobacco tins in conjunction with pipes and cigars at the time. And rewinding to what I said earlier about not knowing any better, we really didn't. I didn't have guys like Alex and Michael with us at the time, and we said, "Hey, let's just try this." And Cult is actually something that, due to some supply chain difficulties and some of our own internal operational difficulties, as the laws were changing with cigar distribution and what was permitted and what wasn't, and different licensing and stuff, we had stopped that for a little while. And then when we acquired Cigar and we were busy with that acquisition, we actually ended up doing a royalty program with Cult. It's still out there, but it's not something that we're producing. So we launched Conspiracy, like I said, through the pipe tobacco tin program. And that was originally Conspiracy by Cult. And now what we've done is we've launched Conspiracy out on its own. And we have some big plans for it, especially with the swag program that's going along with it.
Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. I'm a knuckle dragger, so I wasn't following that.
All good.
Thank you.
But the funniest thing about that is Michael's exactly right. By the time we started September, by the time we got some samples, by the time I didn't start working on the creative with a gentleman I've known my entire life till probably right around Thanksgiving of last year. We had to get the blend finalized and possibly rolled a portion of them before the factory shut down, like the first or second week of December, so they could at least age over the Christmas holiday when they open up in January, like the third week in January. Now, all that timeline, typically, our trade show has always been in July, and it was March this year. So, we had to really step it up. What was interesting is, what I've learned and what was unique about the people that tried the blends isolated, which is really what we wanted to do, and not have anybody say, hey man, there's this in there and there's this in there. I learned this a long time ago, and it's a science observation. The more you observe something, the more you change the way you look at it. So if you don't know anything about it, you're just going to blindly just do it solely of what you're like. And so, we went through a couple rounds with tobacco. I actually sat down with Ernesto, probably one of the last projects, which to me was always fascinating because he loves my palate and he always tries to test my palate. And I think at one point, Alex was like, man, I got so much to do. You got to go down on your own. And I thought I was going to be there for 2 hours, 6 hours later, between talking about life, the industry, smoking cigars, what we wanted to do. We finally came up with some blends that I could present to these gentlemen that I didn't say a word to them about. Here's the blends, try them out. I already think I know what I like. But, the thing was, these cigars weren't aged for 6 months. I mean, you got to have a really great palate to know what this cigar is going to be. And the process for me has always been about 45 days from the time you blend to where the cigar is really going to be. And then after that, it just gets better. So, probably started getting samples in October-ish. And by December, we had this nailed. So it wasn't a function that we rushed this project. It was a function of we know what the hell we were doing, which to me, when Michael said, hey, these are the two I like, Natural and Maduro, when Alex said that, when I said that, when Marilyn said that, and Ernesto confirmed it, he's like, man, you guys have really great palates. We knew we had a winner and we could go. So I think we chalk that up to experience. And I think we chalk it up to when you work with really good people, the process is really quite simple. And we knew what we had. We had, Ernesto to me is this guy that is, I always tell him he's a gourmet chef, man. He goes around the planet looking for the greatest ingredients and then figures out what he wants to do with it. And he always gives great dishes. So we had our deck stacked there. We had our deck stacked with how we knew how to pull the process of getting bands and labels, doing a creative piece for this, which is always fun. Getting that approved, everybody liking it. And then, pulling the swag off, which Michael mentioned earlier. When we just did a swag storm of stuff. So, yeah, I don't have any of that stuff here because it all got shipped out. So I wanted to have.
And you did design it?
I'm sorry. I wanted to have boxes here, but actually everything. I'm sorry?
You did design the label yourself, right? Because it screams you.
I worked with a guy that I've known forever. Yes. I mean, this was fun. Like Michael gave us the starting point with Conspiracy.
That's smooth looking. It's so smooth and looks like you.
Yeah. It's bold and it pops and it stands out.
And it's fun. And there's a lot of Easter eggs on here. And, we could get really deep into conspiracies and we can wax poetic about it. That's really what this is not about. This is about a bunch of people that have been successful in their lives. Michael, Marilyn, Alex, myself, Ernesto, and his son. Like, man, we know how to do this. We're going to do this in the right way, which that conversation. Imagine having that conversation in a parking lot, and I got to go see customers, and Michael's talking to me at literally 9 o'clock in the morning for 45 minutes. Like, hey, bro, do you know how important this is? Do you know what you're doing? Like, what a great conversation because that told me on my side he really cares about this. I mean, he really wants this to be successful. He's pushing me in a way that I took like, you know what? I love that we're having this conversation. But, you're like, okay, I know. Yep. And, I really respect that pushing and that really entrepreneurial spirit about, hey, man, we're really trying to get the best out of this. Have you thought about everything? That was kind of like the in between the lines kind of thing. And I think when we all saw this and got a chance to finally smoke the blends, we were all like looking at each other. Great job.
Yeah.
But again, it's everybody out there. Here's the unique thing too. We're the only brand that has the EP Carrillo footband on there.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, that especially people who've been smoking cigars for more than
so again,
years, they know that stands out to them and they know that that name means quality. Definitely.
Yeah, we were really happy when
this is like the gold medals
when Ernesto agreed to do that, and I was in our conference room, and I was actually sampling a new vintage of wine that had just come in, and then Alex and Giannini and Marilyn and some other people came into the room also, and Alex had a whole box of samples, and we just ended up all smoking them, and we're sitting around the conference table, and it's just quiet, and we're just smoking. And when everyone was pleased at what the end result was, that it's a tense moment. But when everyone was pleased, it was a sigh of relief, because a lot of things were happening, and to see everything come together when everyone's doing their own thing and we're not necessarily all talking to each other about every single step, it's just a great feeling to accomplish that.
Yeah. Question from a viewer that I'm also curious about. Do you guys have a preference, Maduro or Connecticut?
Michael?
So I like smoking Maduro and Connecticut in general, depending on what mood I'm in, what flavor I'm looking for, what time of day it is. On this one, so I have a couple of the pre-production samples like you guys are smoking in my humidor at the office. And lately I've been reaching for the natural. And it's kind of like a subconscious thing, but the one that you smoke more of, even in the sampling process, when we had a number of cigars in front of us, the one that we keep going back to tends to always be the one that we end up liking the most. And I'd say the natural one right now is the one that I'm on. I'm sure that'll change as time goes on too.
What about you, Michael?
I agree with Michael. I like the Connecticut's. My routine in the morning is pop the top of my car, light up a Connecticut, drive to work. And I sit in the parking lot. I have an 11-minute drive, so I sit in the parking lot and try to finish the cigar, which never happens. So I actually cut it and then sneak out during the day and smoke it. It's not the way you should do it, but that's what I gravitate towards. Actually, before we got on, I was smoking outside. I was smoking a Maduro. And, I was like, man, this is really good late at night. So it's personal preference and palate. The tobaccos are somewhat similar in the fillers and binders, but you can figure out if you really understand it. You just, you can sniff, you can smell the tobaccos that are in here. But it's a very unique, different proportion of stuff that we actually put in there that Ernesto pulled out of his little inventory of tobacco, that he did something special for us. So very, very excited by it. I can't wait for everybody out there to try this, because, the unique thing about this was the way we did the swag, which is so brilliant. And Michael's, he always tells us, hey man, we're trying to get retailers and we try to get our manufacturers to understand how to build your own brands, right, by using our swag. But to have this stroke of genius, and I think it was Alex's idea, is like, hey man, why don't we just put everything that we sell and has a piece of swag? So for example, these cigars come in bundles of 10, very easy. So we give you a free humidor that's logoed with a variation of this design. Currently, we have 3 different designs of this. And then you actually get a unique little toy. Everybody knows this specific cutter, but this is a perfect cut. And this is all logoed with our conspiracy on it. So you buy 20 cigars, you get a humidor, and you get an XI cutter, perfect cutter for free. An XI2 perfect cutter for free. You want to buy 10 cigars, we give you a little travel humidor, we give you a Paleo V cutter for free. You want to buy 1 cigar, we give you a perfect cut, inexpensive cutter that's a $6 cutter for every cigar that you buy. And the idea behind this was, listen, I could be doing an event on a Saturday, or Michael could, or Alex could, and we set it up at a retail shop, and then what happens is it rains, or it's too cold, or there's a football game on, or whatever, and nobody shows up, and we're looking at each other, and we end up leaving with the swag. We have swag for our consumers all day long, and it's a reward that the retailers get to pass on to their customers. So you got it there. I'll still do events, because I'll bring some other cooler stuff too, because we have an entire room and an entire portfolio that we can change up. So that's a bit of the conspiracy of what this brand is about.
Nice. Well, I also want to
long way to answer your question. Sorry.
No, that's fantastic.
Raphael, how are you?
But I also want to touch on.
Hey, Raphael, how's it going?
Raphael Nodal, good to see you, brother. It has been a
How
while.
are
We got to get Raphael back on the show. It's been too long, brother. I'm going to reach out to you this week and get you on the schedule, brother. So one of the things that you mentioned a little bit earlier is a fantastic milestone for any company. The fact that you guys are celebrating 25 years in the business. So And I know, Michael, you said that, you got a lot of fun stuff that you want to show off to our viewers and to us as well. So just talk us a little bit through, Mike, let's start with you. Talk us through a little bit about, the sentimentality and the sense of accomplishment and the gratitude that comes along with 25 years.
Yeah, so it happens really fast, right? So I didn't go into this ever thinking that it would get here. That's the honest truth. But to think that I've been doing this for this long, and when I first got into it, I remember my father saying to me, he's like, cigar humidors, cigar accessories. He's like, growing up, I knew guys who smoked cigars, but I didn't really see that many accessories. He goes, you think there's a business in this? He's like, I'm sure you'll figure it out. And little by little, we just kind of started with one humidor. Like I said, we still make it to this day. People are still ordering it. But the team that we have now who creates really is the driver, in addition to the acquisitions that we've made. It's that part of the business that not a whole lot of people get into, and we are a tiny little niche in a niche of the tobacco world, which is the handmade boutique cigars. And sometimes I walk around the warehouse and I see just the rows and rows of product that we've developed and that we've purchased and that we move. And I'm a little surprised sometimes to see like what it's become. So the sentimentality behind it is there's definitely appreciation and gratitude that there are people who enjoy what it is that we offer and that we make. And we started to really understand it as we were participating in the trade shows that are out of this country, namely the Intertobac in Dortmund, Germany, once a year, where when we acquired Cigar, we acquired 65 distributors in 65 different countries. And the feedback that we get, and I think the one that really takes the cake is that there was someone who came to the trade show over there. I think it was a consumer, and he had a Cigar tattoo. And I said, "Wow, this is something for someone to do that." It really shows the interest and the loyalty to the brands and the products that we have. So I'm definitely humbled by what we have built over the years and the fact that it continues to be a going concern. And really at this point, even some years back, it started to grow much bigger and much more beyond just myself and Marilyn as well. And that's what we want. We want this to grow bigger than us, and we want it to be something that continues to live on.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for both of you. Seems that you like acquiring other companies. Do you have anybody in your cross sites right now?
Oh, talk about conspiracy. Asking him to divulge secrets.
Raul, who should we look at?
Well, maybe you should just buy a cigar company.
Buy a cigar company?
Yes.
What do you think, Giannini? Well, how would Alex feel about that?
Yeah,
he's listening right now. He's shaking his head. I can see him just shaking his head.
Yeah, no, he definitely would say no. I'm sure Michael has some stuff that he's playing with, but I just want to touch on a comment Michael made. For me, coming into an organization, like I said, I'd met Michael, and then I go back and I see how big he had grown. I mean, it's a 43,000 square foot operation, bigger than some of the cigar humidors I've ever walked to in any place in the world. Granted, we have furniture and towers and all that. You need that space, and then 3PLs, and then we have one overseas that basically sends product over to Europe. But, for me, coming into an accessory company that every time I always jokingly say this, would drop the album and go on tour, I always needed, I needed band T-shirts and band caps and all that kind of stuff. And, here I am when I walked into the showroom and I'm like, man, I got that. I didn't know I got it from here because I had bought it from retailers. And I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I've always loved swag. So in a weird way, make a plan. The guy upstairs laughs at you. I ended up there. Because I wanted to really understand the accessory world. But what's even more unique, and I don't want to shift gears on you, but what I love about this organization is, Michael Green lights a cigar, Alex pushes, and like, hey man, we're going to do a cigar too, so we're going to use all our knowledge. And then, one day, I'm not a big drinker, but one day, so my role now has transitioned where I love to travel. Like I sit in an office and I get to work with our team, but I really like seeing my retailer friends out there and my consumer friends out there. So one day Michael pulls me in his office and goes, we have a wine brand. Like, yeah, because how many cigar lounges do you go into? Like pretty much everywhere. He's like, you think you should carry the wine brand? Maybe show it to some customers? I'm like, you know what? Duh. So this is called La Pistolina. I'll let Michael talk about this. There's 3. So this is the Super Tuscan. I'm just going to show these to you. I will let the facilitator talk about them. This is the 2016 from Napa. Very limited, very limited. There is also a Prosecco, which is pretty amazing.
Love it.
And Michael just got cases in of his 2022. So I'll let him tell you the story, but and I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute. So we have all the great brands in the accessory line. We have a cigar brand, and we also have a wine brand. You could not get a better configuration of products that are perfect across all the board of all stuff that we all love to do, right? And I'm like, this is really, really cool. So I needed to show this to you because, if you see me around with La Pistolina, which means the little pistol, and if you can really look at that, you may get the reference.
Oh, yeah.
The tape on the handle.
Yeah.
But here's what's even crazier, okay? So Michael tells me, hey, when I started this brand, and I will leave it from there. Michael, when did you start this brand of wine?
So the first vintage is a 2016 out of Napa Valley, California. And it was an idea that was brought to me actually. It's like, Mike, we should do a wine. It was pre Cigar, so we were kind of just doing our business like we normally did, and we hadn't done an acquisition for a little while, and we were looking to do something a little different, like a little passion project. So a friend of mine who I met in 2009 when I went to Napa. I reached out to him and I said, look, you showed us around all the different vineyards. You're a wine curator. I'd like to do something, but, I know how to drink wine, but, how do we do this? And I learned a lot of things along the way, kind of like learning how to fly the plane, as it's going. And as a distributor in the cigar accessory business all these years, we make products, design them, get them made, bring them in, and then sell them. But with wine, it's a different process. So we couldn't distribute our own wine. Legally, we can't do it. You're either the winemaker owning the wine brand, or you're the distributor, or you're a retailer. So it's not more than one of those 3. So we found some juice that we liked. We figured out with my friend in Napa how to get it bottled and everything, and it's sitting in Napa, and all of a sudden the Cigar opportunity comes. So we shift into that gear, and it ends up aging in the bottle for like a year and a half, which didn't really hurt the wine any, but it was sitting there. We had to figure out how to get it into Florida and find a distributor who wanted to work with us, and we finally ended up doing that. But by the time we actually got to selling it, COVID was breaking out, which in Florida, alcohol sales went through the roof, but that was for brands that people knew. No one knew this brand because it was brand new. So what we had to do was figure out how to get it out there. And I said to myself, well, the best way to do it, in my opinion, was through the restaurants. Now, restaurants generally don't want to carry something that isn't in the stores that people don't know, because they got to redo wine lists and they got to, have their staff understand what it is and offer it. And it's just kind of a little backwards way of doing it. But because there was so much disruption in the restaurant business during COVID, what we did was probably towards the latter part of 2020, when we were like a lot of people just kind of going stir crazy, just like sitting around, we said, hey, listen, we went to a couple of restaurants that we've known over the years, and we said, hey, listen, we'd like to throw a dinner party for our staff, and we're going to need probably like 60 people. And they said, well, are 60 people going to come? We haven't had 60 people in here for several months. And I said, yeah, we'll definitely come. But here's the thing. I want them to try this wine, and I need you to pick up this wine, and we'll buy it from you at the dinner, as if it's on your menu. I said, but, and you try it too, and you tell me what you think. But we did that, and that's how we started to launch the wine. So we saw that went over well, and we says, okay, let's do another dinner somewhere else. And we get like a couple dozen people and do another dinner. And basically that's how we started to get it out there during COVID. And they appreciated the support, and we appreciated their open-mindedness. And that's how we did that. So come up to the point where Giannini's talking about going into the lounges. I said, look, you're going to be going around Florida now. His calendar was in Florida for the visits. And I said, listen, take a bottle with you and just show it and see what happens. See how they react, see their interest, see if they ask questions, see if it makes any engagement. So one day he comes back and he goes, Mike, I sold a case of wine. I go, really? That's great. And he shows me the bottle that he was bringing around with him. I said, wait a second, where'd you get that bottle? He goes, this is the one you gave me. I said, you got someone to buy a case of wine that they never heard of and never tried before? He goes, yeah. I says, I think you just single-handedly changed the wine business.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of like how we're doing this now. I love figuring out how to do things differently.
Yeah.
So, Mike, getting back to that, I got an idea for you. Jewelry. Michael wear it all the time. It's perfect. Mike, that's next year.
Michael Giannini, your own line of jewelry and men's accessories.
Hey, Mike, have you ever thought of that?
I have, actually. I have. I've been driving in the cigar industry for so long. I actually was going to work on some projects with that, and then obviously COVID hit, but then I got sidetracked. But yeah, I'd love to do a jewelry line.
So Raul, how like, let me ask you a question since you came up with the idea. Would you wear what Mike's wearing tonight?
No.
You would rock that kind of wardrobe.
Pinky ring I would wear. His cross pinky ring I would wear.
All right, well, right. There you go. There you go.
We got the first customer interest right there.
All right. Done. All right, we're in the jewelry business.
There's a really cool viewer question I want to bring up on the screen now. So Daniel wants to know if you knew someone that you trust, say that he wants to bring a new brand to market, what would you tell him and his team to absolutely not do? And I suppose we'll say this could be a cigar brand or an accessory brand.
Yeah, it could be anything. I think this question applies to anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a great question because there's lots of things that we should never do. And it crosses the streams with not knowing any better and just doing it. Mm-hmm. So one thing you should never do is second guess what your passion is telling you.
Mm. I like that.
Because generally, if we tap into what our passion and intuition tells us, and it's just we're all kind of programmed in a way to always second guess ourselves, right? But the thing is that once you start then telling somebody else, then you get everyone else's opinions telling you what you shouldn't do. And if I listened to any of them over my life, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now, because the first things that I heard from the people who I trusted about going into the cigar business in 2000, whether they knew about the industry or not, the ones who knew about the industry said, "You're out of your mind," because I got shoe boxes with sponges in them that I paid $100 for that no one wants. This is after the boom busted. And they said, and you're here, trying to sell me humidors from China. You're out of your mind. And then there were the ones who just cared about me as friends or family and said, nah, listen, tobacco, it's just not the right thing. There's a stigma with it. It's taboo, this and that. If I listened to any of them, we wouldn't have done any of this. Maybe someone else would have, I don't know. But the thing is that don't second guess yourself. If you truly believe in you and you understand what you're feeling and thinking, you gotta go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Michael, what's your input on that same question?
My input is no plan B. I'll say it differently than Michael. There's no plan B. Okay. And I would say, here's when you know you're really into the game. Get in a car, fly into a town, get a rental car, get in a car, put in your GPS, and make as many calls as you can till 10 o'clock at night. Don't eat all day. Maybe have dinner at 10 o'clock at night, go to sleep, and do the same for the next 5 days. And if you're not energized every morning, get out of bed and go get ready to go see the next customer. That's the life that a lot of us live. Rafael Nadal's on. I know he was in Nicaragua because he had it on his Facebook page. I'm sure he had put a 20-hour day in. Rafael, at his level right now, doesn't need to do that, but he's a passionate guy. So if you're not willing to put the time in, and one of the greatest things Michael told me, he's like, everybody talks about balance in life. And he's like, yeah, well, there shouldn't be balance in your life because something's always going to sacrifice, right? You're always going to sacrifice something. So if you're really, really good and committed at building a business, you're sacrificing something on the opposite side. And if you're sacrificing something that you always wanted to do, but you don't want to do it because you feel like you're sacrificing over here, it's a choice you make and you're always going to sacrifice something. So the other part is, Michael hit it right on the head, man. Don't be delusional. Like, if you really do not know in your heart that there is nothing else on this planet you want to do, and you just think you're going to make money doing this, I can name you 15 brands off the top of my head that tried to do that and thought they were going to make money over the cigar boom, et cetera, et cetera. And I could name these brands and none of you guys have ever heard of them.
Yeah.
So
now, if it,
it's a different world.
To follow up what I said about not questioning yourself, everything that we launched over the years, now that I think back to it with this question, we didn't go into it with a massive investment because there are risks. And sometimes you can have the right product that people want, and it could be the wrong timing or it can be the wrong launch. And it doesn't necessarily mean that if you go out with something and it doesn't work, that no one wants it. You could have the right timing and the right product, but you can have the wrong delivery of it. So you have to really gauge what you're willing to lose. And if you're comfortable with that, then go forward like you can't lose, because it's usually us who stop ourselves from something right out of the gate. And we never even really get into the nuances of life that we have to steer around. And we fail from the start in that respect. So if you start with something that's too heavy of a lift and it knocks you out, then you just you defeat it and you give up. But if you start out with something you're a little lighter in inventory and in expense, then you can live to fight another day.
I'm curious about this one question from David Floyd, and it's about target retailers, and I think that's an interesting question because oh, sorry, no, that's not the one, Justin. No, here, I'll put it up. Oh, sorry, nope. There we go.
David's been putting out a lot of questions.
So target retailers is an interesting question, I think, because there are lots of different kinds of cigar retailers around the country. You know, there's big ones, small ones, there's chains, there's guys who mostly do online but have some of a brick and mortar presence, and so on and so forth. Did you guys have in mind that this was a project that was going to be sort of specifically geared towards certain kinds of retailers? And if so, what kind of retailers are best for this Conspiracy Cigars project?
I don't think we sat down and, went like, we got to target this for retail. Like, if you're starting with that point, then you already lost the game, right? The thing for me has always been, we're going to blend cigars with our palates, with our idea of this, and we're going to put it out into the universe, and we're going to tell the retailers and the consumers how this was put together. And the proposition has got to live on its own. Because if you're going to go, I'm going to go blend this for a specific person, it's really difficult to do. It's like having a really great restaurant, right? I offer this cuisine. This is how I make it. If you like it, great. You keep coming back. We've got something here, but you're not going to appeal to everybody. And if you try to do that, listen, I've been in organizations where the idea was to mass market cigars, and people would buy. They didn't know what they were smoking per se, right? They were smoking the bad, not the cigar per se. With us, it's a little bit different because you've got a lot of people's reputations on the line. And, we went at this with, a great blender, great people, quality importers that have reputations of being successful at doing this stuff. And that precedes you. And then consumers and retailers will come and like, hey, really like you guys do a great job. But if you talk, like if I got to talk somebody into buying this cigar, what's the point? You're not going to have the heart into it. You're not going to believe in what we're trying to do. And you're not going to really go out of your way to push and sell this cigar. And so didn't really target this for specific people. We will and have talked to a lot of our friends that are like, hey, man, we'll support you no matter what you guys do. We love your product. Again, it's business. Is it going to sell? Absolutely, it's going to sell. And that's how we stack the deck here. So, I always say, hey, man, if you don't dig what we're doing, man, I can't talk you into being cool, right? And, well, I want to be cool. Well, dude, you're never going to be cool. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't mean that in a mean way. Like, bro, you're not going to be cool. Like, bro, like, you're not going to wear my chain. But, like, so if I talk to you and you're uncomfortable about it, you're like, Michael, I'm never going to wear this again. I spent X amount of money on this necklace. I'm never going to wear it. So it's not the fact that it's not good for you. It's just you don't feel comfortable with it. And so you're never going to wear it, and you're never going to be able to tell people where you got it, who made it, et cetera, et cetera. That's always how I've approached it.
So what I hear is you're saying I'm never going to be cool.
Michael probably has a different.
No. If you get the
I
ring,
didn't say that. This should be super cool, bro.
Hey, I got a question.
I think,
Go ahead, Michael.
No, go ahead. Answer your question, Ron.
Oh, have you guys paired Conspiracy with the new wine?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. As a matter of fact, like I said, that day that Alex came in with the samples and everyone started smoking them, the finished production Conspiracy cigars. I was sampling our 2022 new vintage of Napa Cabernet, and that's where we started to talk about how we're seeing Cigar and Spirits, and we're seeing Cigar Snob, and we're seeing these magazines, even Cigar Aficionado, mention wines in their articles and in their publications, and we're seeing more mentions about wine and cigar pairings.
Yeah.
So that just happened. We didn't plan it like that. It was a pleasant surprise to see that was aligning with the project of the wine that we're doing. And more and more, even personally, I'm meeting guys who love cigars. They love to have a drink with the cigars. Usually it's like a scotch or a bourbon or a rye or something. And they go, I've never paired a cigar with wine before. You can do that? Of course you can.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, look, you like that cigar? You like this wine? Try it.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems to be something that's organically just starting to occur.
Yeah, I've been lucky over the last few years because I was always more of a whiskey guy, and I mean I always enjoyed wine, but over the last few years I've been really fortunate to learn from some people who taught me about pairing wines with cigars. People like Luciano Morales and Michael Herklotz, really given me good insights into pairing wines with cigars, and it's been a great journey to go down because there's you can get some absolutely wonderful flavor combinations and more enjoyment for me when you can put something together and just make something brand new and a pairing that you never in a million years would have expected that is wonderful, but it just turns out to be one of your new favorites.
Absolutely, and we're open to for anyone who has interest. We're open to start even having some of these webcasts with pairing the wines as well. So if you have any interest, we'd love to have you.
Oh yeah,
well,
absolutely.
I hate to promote ourselves, but next week we are doing a pairing.
Yeah,
we're doing a charcuterie board with some cigars, and if you want to send us a bottle,
pairing. So
he'd love to have it.
Raul had this cool idea because we've done a lot of pairing shows on How About That Cigar before, but this is the first time we're ever going to actually be pairing cigars with a charcuterie board. Mm-hmm. So nice. Meat, cheeses, nuts, fruits, that kind of thing, and this will be a brand new experience for us. So yeah, I mean, if you guys wanted to, we'd be happy to
feature your wine.
Well, I would. These guys don't drink, but I'd be happy to,
feature your wine next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's some restaurants that I'm coming across here in Miami that I'm pleasantly surprised to see, where in their outside patio they welcome cigar smoking during dinner.
Yeah.
And it's usually in like the steakhouses or the Argentinian barbecue restaurants where you just get whatever spread of meats that you'd like, and kind of like what you're talking about with the charcuterie board, and to be able to do that. So we do that also with the wine and cigars as well.
Oh, nice.
And I think that if you guys ever come down over here, we'll definitely have to hit those spots. But if you want to do something with your pairing next week, we could certainly arrange that for you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Fantastic. One other question that one of our viewers had, let me find it. There it is. All right. So Randy Mickelson, is there one hot cigar accessory that is a must-have for shops? And this kind of, Michael, this is teeing you up, brother, because I know you've got a lot of cool stuff to feature.
Thank you.
I know you guys are always working on, you guys are always working on new interesting designs, new features, things like that. So what's hot right now?
I'm going to show you probably 3 or 4. So this is our VX2. Deep V cutter cuts a 64 ring gauge, right? Turn on the back. That's where the excess tobacco comes out, right? So you push the sides, boom. Same profile, same size. But when you flip this guy around, you get your V cutter on the front, but when you flip this around, it's a guillotine.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So this is shipping shortly. We showed this at PCA. So this is coming out. Everybody knows the Cigar trademarked now 26th year birthday, I believe. But look, perfect cut. No brainer. I mean, but it's really simple. This works really well. So, like I said, I have a convertible, and generally what I do is when I got my cigar and I'm like, dude, I'm going to light this cigar. So I put the foot in my mouth, I cut it, flip it around, and I'm still watching the road, and I pull out my trusty, I love blowing people's minds, my Veneto quad torch, 152 lights.
Ooh.
It's like a lightsaber, big adjuster on it. So this is another cool tool.
Got a cigar rest on the top.
Yeah,
that's
cigar
three
rest
really
on
cool
the lid.
pieces.
Yeah,
and then the last one I want to show you for those. Perfect. And then for people that are into really big ring gauges, so I'm just going to show you, this is an 80 ring gauge, right?
Whoa.
Compared to our regular Cigar. It's like a little brother.
It's funny how
what we did is we actually came.
I love it.
So again, same idea, but we actually did it with a perfect cut on the back.
Oh, right on. Nice.
So to answer your question, yeah, it's just not one item. It's a couple items that we have coming out that's really, really cool. And you don't think you can innovate, but you can innovate in the accessory space and do some really cool stuff. Like you saw, when first time I saw this, I'm like, I need that. No, you can't have it. Yes, I do. I need this. And I literally just took it and I got one of the pre-samples and I was using the crap out of it. So, and I still use this a lot, even though I have other pieces, but this is really, really cool. So those are the items that I would need. Carry Cigar, our Paleo brand. Michael's done a great job expanding that. I don't want this to be a blatant marketing pitch, but since I'm already into it, I'm going to do it. This is another item that we actually have done customization for our Conspiracy brand. So this will be coming out at some point. You'll see the label on it. And this is a really cool, affordable Scorpius. You got your little bullet cut, you got your draw poker or your nubber. You pop this little guy down, you got a single jet flame.
Nice.
$29.99 is just a retail. So just really fun lighters and durable as hell, all under a Paleo line.
Nice. Yeah.
And we might give some of this stuff away tonight.
That's right. That's right.
How many guys? How many viewers do we have? Do we got some viewers?
28.
We're at 28 live viewers as we speak. We've seen the roller coaster, go here and there. We started at about 7 or 8, and now we're up to 28, and I wouldn't be surprised if the number keeps going up.
Well, we're going to give stuff away, so the more people that get on.
That's right. That's right. Share this with your friends, people. This is the more what is it, the old line, the more you buy, the more you save. Well, the more people that are watching, the better chance you have to win. So
and we might give more stuff away. And then one last thing I wanted to mention. So just tell you guys, and it may not be for the consumers out there, but for a lot, I know, Raul, you'd mentioned some of the great shops that you're up front. Our little humble company, because of the way the trade show fell this year, we're in July. We've been dark since April. Yes, Intertabac is going to happen in September, but not everybody in the U.S. gets to go to that. So the idea came about: why don't we do our own trade show? So we are inviting retailers from all around the country. It's called the Quality Importers Spotlight Trade Show and Cigar Festival, and we had these wonderful cigar manufacturers say, "Hey, we want to join you guys at Quality Importers." So we've got Espinosa, we've got EP Carrillo, we've got La Galera just signed on today. We've got La Aurora, we've got Villiger, and we've got Gurkha all attending our trade show at our offices in Weston, Florida. So any retailers out there looking out, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to your territory manager. Love to have you down here September 7th. It's a Saturday. There's going to be wine, there's going to be food, there's going to be music, and these wonderful personalities are going to be there as well. And we're just going to have a big party and sell lots of product and run deals for our retailer friends. So take advantage of that for the holidays, since we went dark for trade shows. So you guys are invited. If you want to get out of the cold weather, I know it's going to be quite warm here in September.
Nice. We had a question earlier from a guest. They want to know, are you coming to any shops in Minnesota?
Oh, yeah.
I would love to, yes. Actually, I had the opportunity. I've been to Hibbing, Minnesota.
Oh, that's up there.
You guys know where that is.
Oh, yeah.
And Duluth, Minnesota. I had a dear friend of mine, and I actually found out that that's where Bob
Dylan.
Why am I blanking out?
Bob
I'm
Dylan.
sorry?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan's from there.
Yeah.
And actually, the Ruby Red Slippers from Cinderella were there as well.
Yeah.
And actually drove through the little tiny town there and actually spent some time in Duluth, Minnesota. And it is the state of 10,000 lakes. Actually, one of the greatest cigar events I've ever done in my life. So, yes, I do have a plan of going to Minnesota. I live in Florida, so if it gets below 50 and snow, let's see in the spring.
That's a new opportunity for you to feel something different.
Yeah, you the best time to come to Minnesota is basically June through September.
End of September.
Yeah.
Because there's something beautiful about having a cigar, sitting by a fire pit, having a sweatshirt on and shorts. It's just phenomenal. It's just,
and it's sitting outside having a cigar when it's not 100 degrees out. Is it's pretty phenomenal. Now I'm with you. If it gets below 50, I start whining a little bit because I didn't grow up here, so I just start whining.
I love it.
One of the questions that I saw popped up asked if any retailers in Minnesota would be carrying the cigars. So either Michael, you would know better. Either they're available from some mail order companies, or if there's going to be anyone over there. We'd have to check to see who grabbed them from the trade show.
Yeah. Well, I'll get back to you guys and let you know who's carrying it in Minnesota. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But thank you. And if they're not, please reach out to your local retailer and go, hey, man, we need to carry conspiracy cigars. I got to talk to a bunch of really cool cats Monday night, and they're like, you guys got to carry this.
I'm really enjoying this Maduro. I really am.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And it's my fourth cigar of the day.
So one thing that I'm curious about is and this is going back to the accessory side of things. You know, the world of cigar accessories is so kind of vast, you know, and especially, you know, I talk to friends and family who aren't really cigar people, and they, you know, they think sometimes, oh, you don't really, all you need is a lighter, you know, and then I say, well, no, you've got to cut the cigar and you've got to have a place to store them safely. And, you know, that, and there's so much more to it. But is there I started thinking through this in my brain, and I thought I couldn't come up with a single cigar accessory that you guys don't have in your lineup. Like in the world of cigar accessories, you guys really pretty much cover everything. Isn't that the case?
Yeah, we do. And you know, that the statement that they made to you about how all you really need to do is light it, that's true. I mean, that's all you really need to enjoy a cigar. You have to light it, right? I've seen people bite off the end, or if it's a triple cap, they can just kind of like take the cap off with their nail or something. And if you're just smoking one cigar, technically you don't need a place to put it because you're smoking it. What we've done with the accessories and over the years, we're starting with the humidors, is that we standardized humidors for the masses, and we made it affordable. And it was one of the big mail order companies over the years that said to us, they said, what you did with humidors actually facilitated more sales of cigars. And it enabled them to store them and to buy. So in other words, if they have a place to put it, that's going to keep them fresh, keep them regulated properly. They could take advantage of opportunity buys and sales and then age them. So there's been this movement over the years that really transformed the way that cigars were bought and sold on the consumer level because of that. And again, we didn't go into it thinking that, but hearing that after the fact was pleasant news, because I heard someone say once, look at this wallet, or look at this handbag. It cost $500 or $1,000, and I'm like, yeah, but you put all your money into it. You don't got any money to put in it afterwards. It's empty. Same thing with humidors. There's beautiful humidors being made, artist pieces, and very expensive. And at the end of the day, there's also people who say, well, look, I just use this igloo, and I put humidity beads in it, and that works fine for me too. So it was really kind of like, how do we sell humidors? How do we make and sell humidors to the masses? And what we realized was there's really not a big difference between, say, a humidor and a jewelry box, except for the inside of it. Mm-hmm. So we started to develop our products early on in a way that would appeal to the people who were buying these as gifts. And a lot of times it was women. So we heard over the years, well, my girlfriend or my wife wouldn't allow me to have something like that, but this she really likes. So there was a time when we were selling jewelry boxes, and I said, wow, if we make these jewelry boxes with Spanish cedar on the inside, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And we started to really move into that critical mass as far as quantity.
Yeah. Well, and I also liken the especially accessories that we carry with us, lighters, cutters, a draw tool, a nub tool, things like that. I liken those to accessories that we would wear, whether it's jewelry or watches or hats or things like that, because I don't need to wear a hat, but I like to wear hats. I don't need to. I'm not wearing my watch right now. I usually do wear my watch, but I don't need to wear a watch. I can look at my phone for the time. Mm-hmm. I can look at the clock on the wall for the time, but I like to wear a watch. It makes me, I enjoy it. And could I bite the end off of every cigar I smoke? Absolutely, I could. But I like to have a cutter on me. Yep. I like to have a good quality lighter on me because I could just carry a box of matches. But I like to have a quality accessory on me, and then the same could be true on the golf course. I don't need a divot tool, but I like to have one with me, mm-hmm. and I like to have one that's well made. That I know isn't going to bend the first time I go to fix a bump on the green or something like that on the golf course. And I there's so many areas in our life. It's like, do we need all this stuff? No, that's not really the point. But if you're going to have something to do a job, have something that's made well, and you've got a range. That's the thing I like too, is there's a range. You can get a cutter for, a few dollars up to,
couple hundred,
the fanciest of the fancy, you can, get into the hundreds of dollars, and the same is true for lighters. And that's true for watches. That's true for jewelry. That's true for, the tools that we carry in our golf bags. Look at corkscrews for wine bottles. I mean, you can get a 50-cent corkscrew at Walmart, or you can get a really nice corkscrew for a few $100s. I think there's so much to the tools that help us enjoy the products, whether it's wine, golf, cigars, bourbons, it's the tools that help us enjoy the products. And I think there's nothing wrong with having those tools have a variety to them, be quality made, have a little bling, have a little fun. That's what it's all about.
Also, it personalizes you. It's part of your personality.
Yes, exactly.
I carry a V cut. You like a perfect cut.
Like watches and jewelry and
And when you think about it, for the money spent and the time enjoyed, it's even with the prices where they are today, where can you go and enjoy anywhere between like 45 minutes to an hour and a half for the price of one cigar? And when you mention watches, watches are way more expensive than the setup that you would need in order to be able to cut and light a cigar. So the barrier to entry on the expense side for cigars, for those people who enjoy them, is still affordable. I mean, if you go to a movie and you watch a movie and you get a bucket of popcorn and a soda, I mean, you're spending a lot of money. You could probably, if you enjoy cigars, you could probably sit around with some friends and have a cigar and spend less money and spend more time.
Yeah, true.
And probably come out of it a better person.
So, do you think so?
Do you think it is, Justin?
I mean, I guess if you guys want to.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, guys. It is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos. And as always, Numero de los Muertos is brought to us by our friends at Smoke Inn.
Honestly, agree with the goat to tell you about Smoke Inn's Cigar of the Month Club. Every month, I personally handpick 5 premium cigars. Another great feature is our Double Down Club. With a simple check mark, you can get double this great selections every month and save $10. Every month, there's a special discount code where if you like any of the selections, you can get them at a special discounted rate for our Cigar of the Month Club members. We've made it super simple. All you gotta do is log into your account. There's a little green button there. If it's green, you're active. You want to take a break, going out of town, simply hit the button and you'll deactivate your membership. We get the stuff out on the 28th of every month. Our membership bills on the 28th, and we get every member's package out on the 28th if it's a shipping day. All delivered to your door for $34.95. 5 great reasons on what makes Smokin' Cigar of the Month Club the best club out there. Check it out. Peace.
All right, guys. Numero de los Muertos, episode 256. Now, this one, the numbers I have are estimates, but they're relatively reliable from the historic sites that I did some research on. Okay, so the number is between 15,000 and 17,000 people died from this, and it was in a particular time period. We'll say late 1700s.
The bubonic plague.
Not the plague.
Beheading.
Is this for us?
Yeah, this
for
is
everybody.
This is for everybody. This is for you. This is for our viewers. You basically get, and you can break it down with 20 questions. It doesn't have to be a direct, guess.
Andrew says death by blood loss from misuse of a cigar cutter.
No, but that's you got to be careful with those cigar cutters.
Not a guillotine.
It is a guillotine.
I said beheading.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
Oh, David Floyd.
David Floyd. Well, that's
right, David.
I said guillotine because of the guillotine cutter.
Oh,
because we have
what you did there.
Yeah.
Was it smallpox?
No,
it's a guillotine.
So, all right, let me give the details here.
Oh, you said the answer. Okay.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, it cut out. Got a little glitchy.
Floyd said the guillotine there. So,
all right. So this was during the French Revolution, and reliable figures on the definitive number of people guillotined during the revolution are hard to find. Most historians commonly project between 15 and 17,000 people were guillotined across all of France in the late 1700s. The decision was made to centralize all executions in Paris. And the last, so take a guess. When was the last person executed by guillotine in France?
Wasn't it the Queen then? No.
No. What year was the last person executed by guillotine in France? That's an extra bonus question.
1902.
No, later than that.
David Floyd says 1984.
Nope, not 84.
1842.
Nope.
1840 from Allison. 1792 from GP Jebba Headmet.
Mike or Michael, do you have a guess?
I got a C in history class. I have no idea.
Probably hard to find because most lost their heads.
I
mean, jokingly, I want to say last week, but
well, I found 3 separate sources that said 1970.
1970.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On purpose or
on purpose?
Accident?
Like they were actually like officially executed by guillotine as late as 1970.
Wow.
Jeez, what did they do?
That's a good question. I don't know. They used a Zippo to light their cigar. That was their offense.
Off with their heads.
All right. So that was this week's Numero de los Muertos. Okay. So regrettably, now we have to reveal this week's Spirit of Mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. So as you can see, I'll hold my glass up to the camera. I gave up. I stopped drinking. This is bad whiskey. I stopped drinking it. I don't know what it is, and I'm okay with that because I'm never going to drink it again. It tastes like tires and the bottom of a taxi cab floor.
Montana's not doing too good with their whiskeys and bourbon.
No, this is not good.
They just like a little bit, different whiskey out there,
So I actually told you earlier what it was. Wild Rye.
Oh, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's Montana Straight, a 5 drops Wild Rye Distilling, Bozeman, Montana.
It smells like paint remover.
90 proof. Southwest Montana sweet corn mashed with central Montana malted barley using pure Montana mountain water.
Okay.
Should have had
next
that
week.
Yeah.
Next week. That's right, baby. We'll have some wine next week.
That's the one Giannini's showing is the fully loaded.
We have a rescue you, Matt.
Of Italy.
Oh,
we're coming to the rescue.
I appreciate it because this whiskey is going right down the kitchen sink. I'm sorry, but to have whoever put that whiskey on the market, God bless you, but that's not for me.
We're not doing good with Montana whiskeys.
That's not for me. Definitely not. All right. Let's jump into the lightning round, brought to us by J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and The American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 113-year-old El Reloj cigar factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right. So both of you have been on the show before, so let's dig up some fresh lightning round questions. All right. So, Mike, I'm going to start with you first. Who was the number one that you can remember when you were a kid or a teenager, your number one celebrity crush?
Number one celebrity crush. When I was a teenager. Huh.
Somebody on TV or the movies, a musician maybe?
Monica Bellucci.
That name. Oh my gosh. She was in The
Matrix.
The Matrix.
Mm. The red dress.
And she was in some other stuff too, but yeah, the red dress in The Matrix. Uh-huh. Yep.
And in the second Matrix.
Yep. Oh yes. Yep. That's a very, very excellent choice. All right, Michael, your teenage celebrity crush.
Wow. You know what? I was looking at her picture on Facebook today, and I'm like, wow. And I completely blanked out on her name. She had black hair. She was on one of those. I can't believe it. I'm like, oh my gosh, she still looks great. Jesus.
Was she on a TV show?
She's on a TV show, and she's on one called 911 now. Black hair.
Oh,
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
No, Bassinger.
Thank you.
Bassinger.
She's got dark hair now.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, Jennifer Love.
Black hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent choice.
Selma Hayek's a good one too, Andrew.
Excellent choice. All right. So, Michael, you're going to go first on this next one. So if you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, and you cannot say money, time, or cigars, what would it be?
Clothes.
Yeah. Yes, that is a good. I should have known you were going to say that. Absolutely. All right, Mike Giordano, what about you? Unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life.
An unlimited supply for the rest of my life. Time.
Oh, you can't say time. Yeah, that's one of the you can't
say those are one of the ones that I couldn't say. Oh,
yeah.
Cut out. I didn't hear that.
That's okay. Time, money, and cigars you can't have unlimited.
Okay, got it. How about happiness?
That's a great answer. Wow, man, I love it. Mm-hmm. All right.
I think they've done that.
I don't think so.
All right, well, shoot.
I don't think so.
So, what is the most underrated and overrated fast food out there? Mike, we'll start with you.
Underrated and overrated?
Yes, sir.
Huh. It's hard because I don't eat fast food.
Okay.
So underrated. I'm interested to know what comes up, because underrated and overrated is kind of like a clash, and that's making it even more difficult for me.
You know what's interesting is we've had, like, for instance, somebody will say, I think McDonald's is the most overrated fast food, but then we've had other people that say McDonald's is the most underrated fast food, or you know,
Whataburger has been both half.
Whataburger, In-N-Out Burger is a very common answer for the most overrated fast food.
Whataburger. You see, so I'm from New York, and the one thing that comes to mind is and it's not all over the country, but a lot of people know White Castle.
Oh yeah. White Castle. No.
Mike, I got a question. Remember Blimpies? Blimpies subs in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blimpies, and then they kind of faded out, and they're only like in like little, like I only see them in like some remote gas stations now, and Subway took over.
Oh yeah, Subway's the worst.
They're pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Not fresh. That's their.
I love it.
Michael, same question for you. What's the most overrated and underrated fast food?
Fast food joint or food?
Yeah. Fast food joint.
Yeah,
either one. We'll go with either one, whichever one you want to spit off.
I'm gonna do food. I haven't eaten fast food in probably 15 years.
We're getting that a lot more from people.
So I really can't, but I can speak to this. Being a Philly boy, pretzels. Now, unless you get hot pretzels, Philadelphia hot pretzels from the Philadelphia Pizza Factory, Pretzel Factory, there is no other pretzels on the planet. You can eat pretzels that will underwhelm you, and you're like, man, I don't know why you guys like that. And it's underrated if you don't get them from the Philadelphia Pretzel Factory. Amazing.
Do you put mustard on your pretzels?
Absolutely. The brown tangy mustard is just perfect with it. And actually taking it one step further, Italian water ice. Really? It's a whole different type of water ice out of the Philly market.
Huh. All right.
I like it. All right. So before we get to, actually, let's do notable smokables first. All right. So it's time for Notable Smokables, brought to us by Don Doroteo Cigars, a brand with both purpose and passion, dedicated to creating change from within. By developing their own land, they're able to own the entire process throughout the life cycle of the plant. They methodically carry out each step, ensuring that the final product is of the finest quality. The new Salt of the Earth lines, Piedra Viva and Piedra Angular, are available now at Don Doroteo retail partners. Visit dondoroteo.com to learn more. All right. So, guys, you've been through this before, but each week we all name a cigar that we smoked recently that was notable to us. Now, this could be a cigar that's been on the market for decades that we've just revisited for the first time in a very long time, or this could be a cigar that's brand new to the market that we smoked for the first time ever. So, Michael Giannini, what is something you smoked recently that stood out to you?
The EP Cadillo Allegiance.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Great cigar, great blend. And actually, the other one is a low Aurora, Connecticut I had as well.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Nice. Mike Giordano, what is something you smoked recently that stood out?
So I grabbed a cigar early one morning recently, and it was the Brulee Blue by Steve Saka.
Nice.
Very nice cigar.
Yes.
Yeah, very enjoyable. Justin, what's notable for you this week?
I actually had some time to relax yesterday, so I had a little steak on the grill with the fiance and just relaxed last night. And I think David Crawford, our brother in the community, gave me Arturo Fuente Anejo from a while back. I think it's one of his go-tos, so that was a good one. And then also for him, happy birthday, David! If you're listening, you're out there today. It's his birthday, so everybody give David a good happy birthday.
Happy birthday, brother! Happy
birthday.
Raleigh, what's notable for you?
Mine was a homegrown company. You might have heard of them, Crux.
I am aware and familiar with
Crux Habano.
Yeah,
I really love that cigar.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
I haven't smoked one in a couple months, and I forgot how good.
Epicure? Is it
Habano Epicure?
Yeah.
So my notable this week, little cigar, the Blackworks Studio. They call it the Rorschach. Nice little cigar, kind of a petite Corona size. Very, very nice. Picked that up when we went down to Smolder. So yeah, very nice little cigar. And we're only a couple months away from when short cigars are going to be
the go-to.
Because it's going to be too cold outside to smoke any cigars.
I smell burning plastic.
That could be the farm, a couple doors down.
Okay.
They burn stuff a lot. What are you going to do? All right. So, gentlemen, I'm wondering if it's okay with you if we want to get crazy for a minute and give a couple things away. What do you think? Should we just get crazy?
Yeah. Why don't we make some type of like quick contest and see who wins?
I love it. Let's what should we do? Best question, most questions, 0 questions. Okay. How are we going to do this?
Whatever the quickest participation that we can have, like over the chat. What do you think?
Let's see here.
If somebody could figure out how many episodes I've been on.
So,
or another one. How much money does Michael have invested in his jewelry? Or okay, what? Spit it out.
What do you got?
Sizes in our conspiracy. See how many people were paying attention. How many years is Quality Importers going to be around?
All right. So how many years has Quality Importers been around? How many?
All right, guys, start typing.
One at a time. Yeah.
All right. But specifically, which sizes are available in the conspiracy, in the Maduro and the natural?
And what are we giving for that, Michael? Okay.
A Veneto lighter?
Yeah.
Listen, you could smoke 152 cigars. That's 7.5 boxes before you need to fill this guy back up.
So, Michael, are you going to send him a cigar to smoke with that lighter?
I may do that. Yes.
Wow.
Is this the winner here? Is that
So that's the first full. So Robusto Toro Gordo.
Is that the first full
So
answer?
Skinny Money on YouTube, viewer on YouTube. I'm going to say that's our first winner because Robusto Toro Gordo, that counts as 5x50, 6x52, and 6x60.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's Skinny Money.
Bingo.
So how do they get their prize?
Skinny Money, you are going to send me an email, and you can email me. That email address is matt@howaboutthatcigar.com. Send me an email with your full name and mailing address, and I will get that information on to Michael. And let me go back here real quick and see the first, because we did have a first.
It was the one right here. Is it okay? So is the answer? Are we at 25 or are we at 24?
Who was the first? Well, they're going to be celebrating their 25th anniversary.
Right.
That's
So
what we talked about on the show.
24 now?
That's correct.
So that would be this guy right here.
All right,
That's correct.
Kelly Conway, that was the first person to guess correctly. 24 years. So Kelly, same for you. Matt at howaboutthatcigar.com, and get me a mailing address, and I will get that on. And yeah, I'll get that information on to Michael. So that is awesome, guys. Thank you for
but we're not done. No, that's good. We only gave 2 things away.
Guys, we're not done. We're not done.
No, more questions.
All right, more
Okay,
questions.
how about this question? What was the first item that we started with? I mentioned that.
There you go. What was the first item that Quality Importer started with? David Floyd says humidor.
David Floyd said humidor.
Correct.
David Floyd, shoot me an email.
We should have his email.
I might.
But yeah, shoot it anyway.
Just in case. All right. So actually, I'm gonna pop something up. On screen here.
All right.
Okay.
Give me just a sec to find.
Are we giving away one other thing?
Let's just keep going till the big man says stop.
All right, I've got one. And I know for a fact that Mike mentioned this. What year did Quality Importers acquire Cigar? I know that Mike mentioned that. So first person with the correct guess in the comments. What year did Quality Importers acquire Cigar? Somebody says 2008.
Somebody says 2009.
Nope.
2011.
And if you've already won a prize, let's give other people a chance to win.
Actually, Andrew grabbed it.
Andrew?
Yep. There he is. Andrew, how are you?
Nice.
Oh, Andrew, good to see you, brother. Shoot me an email. Okay. All right. What's another one? What's another one that we talked about on the show?
When did Michael join?
What do you guys think Michael's hidden talent is? What do you think Michael's hidden talent is?
He plays the saxophone. Oh, I mean, that was a question for.
But that's you're hunting in the right area. Okay,
right,
so he does play.
Mike Giordano's hidden talent.
That instrument does.
All right.
Yep.
So first person with the right guess in the comments.
We got piano. We got harmonica.
Well,
Daniel got it.
You know. Okay, so here's the thing. There's what was the one that just came? There were two people who mentioned harmonica and piano.
Yeah.
And then Raul mentioned saxophone. I played saxophone when I was in high school. So technically we have 3 winners.
I didn't even know that. That's hysterical. Nice. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
All right. So Daniel Dominic, send me an email, matt@howaboutthatcigar.com. Zach Young, send me an email, matt@howaboutthatcigar.com. And Raul, you get,
know where I'm at.
You get nothing.
Yeah. 3. Oh. Nice.
You get nothing.
And you'll like it.
And you get nothing. Good day, sir. One more. Well, 2 more actually, because I've got
do it.
A special surprise.
How many winners are we at now? 6 total? Well, minus me, so that's 5.
I think so. Okay.
I'm killing the number 10, guys. I think in my head, I'm reading Michael's mind. I think he wants to give 10 things away tonight.
All right. Now this is going to go back a ways. And we didn't talk about this on the show. But this is going to go back a little ways, and it can be easily searched. So the first time Michael Giannini was a guest on How About That Cigar was before his time with Quality Importers. The first person to put the episode number that Michael Giannini was a guest on, the first time he was ever on How About That Cigar Live.
And what company he was with?
Yeah.
Where?
So the name of the company that Michael was with at the time and the episode number. All right. So Bill says episode 22. I honestly have to look it up myself.
Gotta have both the episode and the company.
So while we're looking that up, Mike, do you like knishes?
Sure.
Do you like them with mustard, or do you like them with onions?
Both.
All right. I miss New York knishes. That's the only place to buy a knish.
Was there a right answer there, or right or wrong answer?
We're still looking it up.
So
you so disappointed when Michael said both.
Yes.
Everybody's looking it up right now.
You can't even tell which episode it is.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I didn't. Okay. Give me a minute.
So for not dead air, so Michael, are you a Phillies fan? Phillies
Yes, I am.
Eagles? The Eagles?
Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers.
All right. Mike, what about you?
No.
Do you like any sports?
No.
Come on, you could have said the Yankees at least.
It's not that I don't like sports. I don't watch. I mean, look, once in a while, especially with I was season ticket holders to the Panthers, but they weren't winning when I was a season ticket holder.
There's Dax.
Well, that's awesome.
So, Roll, you're strictly New York?
Yankees, Jets.
You're strictly all New York teams?
Islanders. Yep.
How does that work with you being in Minnesota?
I grew up on the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Okay.
And then I came out to Minnesota when I was about 13, 14.
You had to bring some swag out there, right? Some Yankee swag.
Yeah.
All right.
They needed some Puerto Ricans out here.
Because I always, I always had this philosophy that when you're born and raised in a certain city, you should always follow that team.
Mm-hmm.
Like and I'm sure you're going to agree with me. And no offense to any of you Cowboy fans out there, but no way in hell that you can live in Philly and be a Cowboys fan. Just doesn't work. You got to be from Dallas.
I don't see how you can be a Cowboys fan. Period.
Yeah, well, I'm not want to piss off any Cowboys fans because I'm sure you're gonna want to smoke our cigars and buy our product. So don't try to cause any wars.
All right, so it took me a while. I apologize. I finally found it.
We got somebody here. Is this correct?
So
episode 22, Ventura Cigar.
So yeah, that's now we did have people say the episode number, but again, we needed the episode number
and the name
and the name of the company. So this was back in this was back in August of 2019.
Wow. It's one of the first episodes.
So yeah, it was one of the first episodes of How About That Cigar Live, the first time that we had Michael Giannini on the show.
Wow.
So
Brett Salerno.
All right, so Brett, just like the others, please email me, matt@howaboutthatcigar.com, with your mailing address. All right, so I got to pull this up here. And then
how many wins is that? 8, 9 now?
Share it on the screen.
I think that's 6.
6.
All right. Let's
Matt wants to give one of our products.
Yeah, I'm gonna so we've been working with the wonderful Julie to get some of our own stuff put together. So I'm going to share this right now. And this is just a mock-up, but we'll have these soon. There we go. All right. So this is the Cigar Crystal Ashtray, and this this is with our big HBTC logo with our famous tagline: "Burn cigars, not bridges." So now this one is going to take a little time because these are in pre-production. But so let's do. All right.
What is Matt's favorite cigar?
Oh no, you can't ask that because I don't have an answer for it.
I know.
Okay, let's go back in time here. All right.
I got one.
What was the brand? So this is gonna be for you. This is a loyalty question for our viewers who really listen and watch the show and really know me and really have paid attention over the years.
Okay.
And I have not talked about this on today's show. What was the brand? And you don't have to name the specific cigar, but what was the brand of the first premium hand-rolled cigar I ever bought and smoked? First one. If you haven't, and you again, if you've already won a prize, please give other people a chance to win. So if you've already gotten a prize, let other people win. But the brand of the first premium hand-rolled cigar I ever smoked, I'm gonna send you one of these ashtrays. The snorkel. No. Sadly, I have not. No, Tatuaje was not the brand of the first cigar I ever smoked.
How far back?
1996.
Oh, geez. Okay.
It was not Upman. It was not Fuente.
I know.
It was not Drew Estate.
Not Fuente.
It was not Perdomo. It was not Monte Cristo.
None of these brands were around back then.
Yeah. Sure. 96 was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, yep.
JC, no, it was not JC Newman.
There you go.
Macadude, bro. Well, I assume that means Macanudo. It was not Macanudo. It was not Punch. It was not Rocky Patel. Not Romeo. Not Padron.
They're never gonna get it.
They are.
No, they're not.
You guys know me. I've talked about this.
You talk about it all the time.
Multiple times on the show. I've talked about it many, many times. No correct answers yet.
India?
Not Indian. I did have some Indian tobacco cigars back in the day. No correct answers yet. Somebody's got to remember this.
You too, Zach.
Casa Cuba, no. No, not Gurkha. Not Nat Sherman, no. I don't want to give hints, but
David
I don't
Boyd,
want this. I don't want this to take an hour either.
Yeah,
it's not Hoya.
So is these companies still around now?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
And they're big companies?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It was not a Cuban cigar.
You have to be elite lounge to get them.
If you don't get it off the hint he just gave, you're never going to get it. It was not Cohiba, not LFD, not JC Newman.
Hmm.
In 1996,
Boom.
there we go.
Boom.
There we go. Jesus.
No, it was Bill.
Oh, it's Bill first.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Jesus.
Yeah.
Bill was first. At least that's the way it's showing up in our comments here. So, Bill, Davidoff is the correct answer. The first premium hand rolled cigar. I spent in 1996 when cigars were. Average price for a cigar back then was between $1.85 and maybe $3. I spent $10 on my first premium hand rolled cigar in 1996. They got me good, but I fell in love with it pretty much instantly. So that was my first ever premium hand rolled cigar.
Nice.
So Bill, send me an email, matt@howaboutthatcigar.com, and we will get you all squared away. So thank you guys for that. There we go. So let me get back on track here. There we go. All right. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about coming attractions. On How About That Cigar Live. And coming attractions brought to us by Hoagland Insurance. They are excited to serve and educate any new customers and give existing customers a refresher, whether it's a business policy, auto insurance, home policy, or life insurance. Whether it's a business policy, I already did that part. If you are currently insured or just looking for a quote, Tony Hoagland and his team would love to create a personal price plan just for you. Mention How About That Cigar when you make your first appointment, and Tony will have a free cigar just for you. For more information, please call 763-421-4900 or visit champlaininsurance.com. All right, guys, once again, next week,
you're going to watch us feed our face.
You are absolutely going to watch How About That Cigar Live when we are going to, Raul just had this killer idea, and I was like, absolutely, we have to do that. So tell them about it.
Well, I was thinking the first show I was on.
Yep, that's right.
Happened to be we tried sour candy to see how that reacted with our palates.
Yeah.
And so I figured, hey, let's do another one with the charcuterie board.
Yeah.
We are going to have some wine.
We're going to have some wine.
We're going to have some wine with our charcuterie board. We're going to have 3 or 4 different kinds of meats, 3 or 4 different kinds of cheeses, some dried fruit, and some dried nuts.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a dessert at the end, which is a surprise because it's going to be actually 1 year that I've been on the show.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's next week.
Absolutely. And a little sort of preemptive teaser for the month of September. What you've been working on also, Raul, is, which I think is very cool.
We are trying to get all veteran-owned cigar companies on the show.
Yeah, so we've got a few on the schedule so far, and we're trying to get all the Mondays in September, except for Labor Day, because that's we're not going to do a show that day.
So if anybody got a connection with Hoot and Young, tell them to get a hold of me.
And veteran-owned cigar companies, we just want to feature them in the month of September. So if you know anybody, have them reach out to Raul or myself or Justin, and we'll get that put on the schedule for the month of September. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show. If you would please remind our viewers and listeners, where is the best place for them to keep up with everything going on with the Conspiracy cigar brands, with Cigar, Paleo, and all the other great brands under the family of Quality Importers?
So you can go to conspiracycigars.com. You can go to see us on Instagram, Quality Importers, Paleo brand. We're all over social media. I'm MPG at MPGQI on Instagram. You guys have any information or anything you want to know about it, you can contact us through all those different sites.
Fantastic. Well, happy anniversary to Quality Importers and the whole family of brands. And gentlemen, we greatly appreciate your time tonight and just wish you all the best in the future. We're really grateful for you guys spending your Monday night with us.
Yeah,
thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having us again. It's great to see you all, and we look forward to what's to come.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to our viewers and listeners for being the best part of How About That Cigar Live. We're so grateful for you being with us on all your favorite destinations: Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Rumble. We're so grateful to you guys being with us, man. Do us a favor. Click on all the big, beautiful buttons. It means the world to us, and it really does help us out so much. Click on the like button, the follow button, the subscribe button. If you guys want to also make sure you don't miss anything we have going on, please follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You will find us at HBT Cigar. If you have questions for any of us, myself, Justin, or Raul, you can email us on the website, howaboutthatcigar.com. And of course, until we see you guys next time, burn cigars,
not bridges.
Thanks, guys. Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.